Hello beautiful soul, welcome. If you're here on Monday morning, or honestly any day of the week, this transmission is for you. I know how heavy Monday can feel, like you're starting from zero again, like the weekend's peace just evaporated and now you're back in the grind. But what if Monday wasn't something to survive? What if it was actually the most powerful leverage point you have all week? That's what this transmission is about. How to use Monday morning to set your frequency, your energy, your happiness, your entire week from a place of intention instead of reaction. We are going to talk about 3 simple foundations: taking care of your body, anchoring happiness before the week demands it, and programming your timeline with coherence. Nothing complicated, just clear, practical frequency work that actually changes how your week unfolds. I am so grateful you are here. Thank you for trusting this space, for showing up, for being part of this journey. Let's reset your week together. Take a deep breath and let's begin.
Monday is not a day, it is an activation point, a frequency reset moment that determines the architecture of your entire week. The Arcturian Council has calibrated a transmission specifically for this threshold, not to motivate you, to recalibrate you. In the next 10 minutes, your weekly timeline will lock into coherence, your physical vitality will stabilize, and your emotional field will align with the frequency of sustained happiness. This is not content, this is calibration. And it begins now. The Arcturian collective does not measure time the way humans do. They measure cycles, frequencies, rotational patterns that create natural reset points in consciousness. And they have identified something critical about human experience. The 7-day cycle is not arbitrary. It is a natural rhythm embedded in your biological and energetic systems. And Monday, the beginning point of this cycle, is the most powerful leverage moment you will encounter all week. Because here is what the Arcturians have observed across billions of human timelines. The frequency you establish on Monday morning becomes the baseline that broadcasts through the next 6 days. Not because of productivity, not because of schedules, because of energetic momentum. If Monday begins in coherence, the week flows. If Monday begins in resistance, the week fractures. If Monday begins in depletion, the week drains. This is not psychology, this is frequency mechanics, and the Arcturians have designed a precise protocol to work with this mechanic instead of against it. The protocol has 3 phases, and each phase addresses a specific foundation that most humans neglect, especially on Monday morning when these foundations matter most. Phase 1, Physical Vitality Baseline, establishing the biological coherence necessary to hold high frequency without collapse. Phase 2, Emotional Coherence Foundation, anchoring happiness not as circumstance, but as energetic state. Phase 3, Weekly Timeline Optimization, programming the quantum field to organize the next 7 days around your highest frequency instead of your reactive patterns. These 3 phases, vitality, happiness, timeline optimization, are not separate practices. They are a unified sequence, and they must execute in order, because you cannot hold emotional coherence in a depleted body, and you cannot optimize timelines from emotional fragmentation. This is why Monday matters. This is why the Arcturians designed this transmission for the exact moment when your weekly cycle resets. This is why you are here now. Your field recognized what it needs, and what it needs is structure, precision, a protocol that turns Monday from something to survive into something to leverage. The transmission is calibrated, the sequence is ready, and your role as architect of your weekly frequency begins now. Chapter 1, Physical Vitality Baseline. The body as frequency foundation. The Arcturians teach a principle that most spiritual teachings ignore. Consciousness cannot sustain high frequency in a depleted vessel. Your body is not separate from your spiritual evolution. Your body is the conductor, the instrument, the biological technology through which higher dimensional frequencies must flow. And if that instrument is exhausted, malnourished, inflamed, or depleted, no amount of meditation, affirmation, or intention will create sustained coherence. This is why Phase 1 of the Monday Protocol begins with physical vitality baseline, not as physical fitness, as energetic capacity. Let us show you what happens when you start your week in biological depletion. Your nervous system begins Monday already in survival mode. Cortisol elevated, resources scattered, immune function compromised, cellular voltage low, and from that baseline, every stimulus throughout the week creates amplified stress response. Every challenge feels heavier, every decision requires more energy, every interaction drains faster. By Wednesday, you are running on fumes. By Friday, you are counting hours until rest. And by Sunday night, you are dreading the cycle beginning again. This is not weakness. This is predictable consequence of starting the week without establishing physical vitality baseline. But when you anchor vitality on Monday morning, when you prioritize the biological foundation before the mental demands, everything changes. Your nervous system begins the week in parasympathetic state, rest mode, restoration active, resources abundant. From this baseline, challenges become manageable. Decisions flow naturally. Interactions energize instead of drain. And by Friday, instead of depleted, you are still vital, still clear, still operating from capacity instead of deficit. The Arcturians are explicit about this. If you want sustained high frequency, you must treat your body as sacred technology. And sacred technology requires maintenance. Monday Morning Vitality Protocol. Upon waking, before screens, before demands, before the world requires anything, you give your body what it needs to generate power for the week ahead. Hydration first, not coffee, water, preferably with minerals. Your cells have been fasting for 8 hours. They need hydration to initiate cellular function. Movement second, not exercise. Movement, stretching, walking, breath work, anything that moves energy through your system and signals to your body that today we are vital, not surviving. Nourishment third, not stimulation. Nourishment, protein, healthy fats, foods that stabilize blood sugar instead of spiking it, because blood sugar stability is nervous system stability. These three, hydration, movement, nourishment, are not optional wellness practices. They are frequency anchors. They are the biological foundation that allows your field to hold coherence under pressure. And when you establish this foundation on Monday morning, you set a vitality baseline that your body remembers and repeats throughout the week. This is not about perfection. This is about priority, about recognizing that your physical vitality is the ground floor of everything else you are trying to build. The Arcturians do not incarnate into physical bodies, but they understand biological systems with absolute precision. And they are showing you the body is not obstacle to transcendence. The body is the vehicle through which transcendence must move. Treat it accordingly, especially on Monday, especially at the beginning of your weekly cycle when the baseline is established. Your vitality is not vanity. Your health is not separate from your mission. Your body is the frequency foundation, and that foundation must be strong. This chapter seals with the first protocol activation. Type this exactly in the comments. Vitality baseline established. Body honored. When you declare vitality, your system responds. When you honor the body, coherence begins. Chapter 2, Emotional Coherence Foundation. Happiness as frequency anchor. Physical vitality creates capacity, but emotional coherence creates sustainability. You can be physically healthy and emotionally fragmented. and fragmentation will collapse your field faster than any physical depletion. This is why Phase 2 of the Monday Protocol focuses on what the Arcturians call emotional coherence foundation, and at the center of this foundation is one specific frequency: happiness, not as circumstance, not as achievement, not as reward for completing tasks. Happiness as energetic state, as baseline frequency, as chosen field condition. Most humans approach happiness backward. They believe happiness comes after conditions change, after the weekend, after the work week ends, after goals are achieved. But the Arcturians teach the opposite. Happiness is the frequency that creates conditions, not the result of them. And Monday morning, when the week feels heavy, when demands loom, when the weekend's ease has dissolved, is when happiness must be anchored deliberately, intentionally, as foundational frequency. Because here is what happens when you start your week in emotional resistance. Your field broadcasts, "This is difficult," and reality organizes to confirm that broadcast. Challenges appear, conflicts emerge, obstacles multiply, not because the universe is against you, because your frequency is requesting difficulty. And reality always matches frequency. But when you anchor happiness on Monday morning, when you choose coherence before circumstances justify it, your field broadcasts differently, and reality responds differently. Opportunities appear, solutions emerge, flow increases. This is not toxic positivity. This is frequency mechanics. Your emotional state is not passive reaction. It is active creation. Monday Morning Happiness Protocol. Before entering the demands of the day, you consciously generate the emotional frequency you want to carry through the week. Gratitude first, not for everything, for 3 specific things, 3 things that already exist, 3 things that require no change to appreciate. This anchors you in what is already working instead of what is lacking. Joy activation second. Not waiting for reasons, creating reasons, music that lifts you, memory that delights you, visualization that excites you, anything that generates the feeling of happiness in your body right now. Expectation setting third, not hope, expectation. Declaring internally, this week flows, this week delights, this week supports me. Not as wish, as frequency instruction to the field. These 3, gratitude, joy activation, expectation setting, rewire your emotional baseline from resistance to receptivity, from burden to blessing, from surviving to thriving. And when you establish this foundation on Monday morning, your emotional field holds coherence even when challenges appear. Because the baseline is happiness, and challenges cannot collapse a baseline that was anchored deliberately. The Arcturians are clear about this. Emotional mastery is not controlling your feelings. Emotional mastery is choosing your frequency before circumstances dictate it. And the moment of greatest leverage for that choice is Monday morning. Before the week begins, before reactivity takes over, before old patterns reassert themselves, you are not waiting for Friday to feel good. You are generating good now. On Monday, at the threshold, at the beginning point where frequency sets the tone, your happiness is not selfish. Your joy is not frivolous. Your emotional coherence is the second foundation, and that foundation must be conscious. This chapter seals with the second protocol activation. Type this exactly in the comments. Happiness anchored, emotional coherence stable. When you anchor happiness, the field responds. When you stabilize emotionally, the week flows. Chapter 3, Weekly Timeline Optimization. Pass and programming the quantum field. Physical vitality established. Emotional coherence anchored. Now the final phase executes. Weekly timeline optimization. The programming of the quantum field to organize the next 7 days around your highest frequency instead of your reactive patterns. Most people do not realize they are programming their week every Monday morning. They think they are just starting another cycle, just surviving another week. But the Arcturians see what is actually happening. Your Monday morning frequency is a broadcast, a signal, an instruction to the quantum field about how the next 7 days should organize. And the field listens, always, without judgment, without question. If your Monday broadcast is "this will be hard," the field organizes difficulty. If your Monday broadcast is "I am depleted," the field organizes drain. If your Monday broadcast is "here we go again," the field organizes repetition. But if your Monday broadcast is coherent, if physical vitality is established, if emotional happiness is anchored, if your field is stable, the quantum field receives a different instruction, and it organizes differently. Synchronicities increase, right timing appears, support manifests. The week flows instead of forcing. This is not manifestation technique. This is timeline mechanics. You are always programming. The question is, are you programming consciously or unconsciously? Monday morning timeline optimization protocol. With vitality established and happiness anchored, you now direct the architecture of your week with precision. Intention declaration first, not goals. Intention. This week, I move with ease. This week, I create with joy. This week, I receive with grace. Whatever frequency you want to operate from means, declare it now. Visualization second, not what you will do, what you will feel. See yourself moving through the week with energy, with clarity, with happiness sustained. Feel the week already complete, already successful, already aligned. Release third. Let go of how it happens. Let go of control. Let go of forcing. You set the frequency. The field handles the details. Your job is to maintain coherence, not micromanage manifestation. These three, intention, visualization, release, are the quantum instructions, the programming sequence, the way you tell the field, organize this week around this frequency. And when you do this on Monday morning, when you consciously program instead of unconsciously react, the entire week becomes something different. Not easier necessarily, but aligned. Not perfect necessarily, but coherent. Not without challenge necessarily, but supported through it. The Arcturians are showing you, you are not at the mercy of your week. You are the architect of it, and the moment of greatest architectural leverage is right now. Monday morning, the reset point. Your week is not happening to you. Your week is organizing around you, around your frequency, around what you are broadcasting from this exact moment. So broadcast consciously, broadcast coherently, broadcast from vitality, happiness, and intentional direction, and watch how differently the field responds. This chapter seals with the final protocol activation. Type this exactly in the comments. Timeline optimized, week programmed for coherence. When you optimize consciously, reality reorganizes. When you program deliberately, the week transforms. Conclusion. The Sapphire Protocol for weekly maintenance. The Monday Protocol is complete. Vitality established, happiness anchored, timeline optimized. But one transmission is not enough. One Monday reset is not sufficient. This must become practice, structure, consistent weekly maintenance, because frequency does not sustain itself. Coherence must be renewed. Baselines must be reinforced. This is why the Sapphire Arcturian Protocol exists. Not as content, as infrastructure, as the stabilization container that holds your Monday activations and carries them through the entire week. Inside the protocol, you receive weekly transmissions calibrated for the specific energies and challenges of each 7-day cycle. You receive reinforcement, you receive support, you receive the field strong enough to maintain what you activated today. Because the Arcturians know most people feel the shift on Monday and lose it by Tuesday. Most anchor vitality once and collapse by Wednesday. Most program timelines and fragment by Thursday. Not because they are weak, because they lack structure, because they are maintaining high frequency alone in a field designed to pull them back to unconscious baseline. The Sapphire Protocol is that structure, that field, that container. If you are ready to make Monday activation permanent, if you are ready to stop repeating weekly collapse cycles, if you are ready for sustained coherence instead of temporary peaks, the protocol is waiting. Access through the link in the description or pinned comment. Enter the circle of those who understand that frequency is practice, that vitality is sacred, that happiness is choice, that weekly optimization is art. The portal is open. The protocol is precise. Your Monday matters. Use it. Final activation declaration. I establish physical vitality as my biological foundation. I anchor emotional happiness as my energetic baseline. I program my weekly timeline from conscious coherence. I am the architect of my frequency. I am the designer of my week. And every Monday, I reset with precision. It is done. It is active. It is sustained.